If it's Thursday, that means it's time for NSRLA. Welcome, race fans. I'm Ellis Thomas, joined tonight by Chris Smith. Cam Gillen's here in the Slingshot TV booth. We're bringing you race number 17 of Downtown Auto Sales National Series live from the high banks of Echo Park Speedway in Hampton, Georgia, just outside of Atlanta. This 1.5-mile track was opened back in 1960. According to some, most of the work on the $1.8 million project was done at a breakneck pace within weeks of opening day. Then on July 31st, 1960, 25,000 people turned out for that very first race, the Dixie 300. Legend Fireball Roberts won that first race, and many other household names like Earnhardt and Gordon have followed him into victory lane. The Speedway's hosting more than just races. 6 weeks before Woodstock on July 4th and 5th back in 1969, more than 100,000 people who didn't look much like stock car fans journeyed to the track for the Atlanta International Pop Festival, which hosted artists like Led Zeppelin, Janis Joplin, and Creedence Clearwater Revival. Dale Earnhardt reigned supreme at AMS with a record-breaking 9 Cup wins. His dominance surpasses any other legend like Cale Yarborough and Bobby Labonte. In 1997, the track was reconfigured to include a dogleg like SMI's other 1.5-mile tracks, and then just in 2022, that track was reprofiled with more banking to produce more exciting races akin to Talladega or Daytona. Immediately, it became a must-see show and a fan-favorite track on the National Series schedule. Chris, here's your fun fact for the night. The spot just beyond the track where an old church cemetery sits in a grassy field. Tombstone's a counterpoint to the energy and intensity that lies here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. These NSRLA drivers are hoping their cars don't end up in that graveyard at the end of the night. What are they going to have to do to avoid that fate? What do you expect to see tonight here at Atlanta?
Well, this is a wild card race for many of these drivers, and with so much on the line, you know the action is going to be intense from the drop of the green flag tonight. We've got 120 laps here around Echo Park Speedway, 65% of the fuel available to these drivers, 43 laps of fuel in a tank, we think. I'm going to make a quick correction. It's actually 117 laps. Stage breaks at lap 30 and at lap 60 tonight, and Ellis drivers are going to be fighting hard for track position all race long. We're going to see plenty of 2 and 3 wide action for what might be the most competitive racetrack on the season.
Man, it is going to be a wild one. We got so many stories to follow. Just 2 races left in the regular season. 6 drivers vying for a championship. That's going to be one of many stories that we're going to talk about as soon as we come back from our favorite pre-race tradition here at Slingshot TV, folks. Rise and remove your caps as able for the playing of the national anthem. We'll be right back. Right, back here live in the studio, just moments away from the start of the penultimate race for the NSRLA Downtown Auto Sales Series, getting ready for the green flag just shortly. But before we get there, we got to set this thing up for you fans watching in at home, whether you're watching live on YouTube or you're watching that replay. We appreciate you tuning in. Don't forget, you can win a Christopher Bell diecast tonight. We're going to be giving away one lucky fan that Christopher Bell diecast. Make sure you get those comments in to be entered. Chris, the championship. 2 races remaining, and Jacob Cochran, with that win last week at Nashville, kind of locked himself into that, I think, championship favorite, moniker. But Evan Janick, Donnie Honeycutt, Christian Barnes, top 4 within just 16 points, and Tyler Honeycutt and Dustin Lewis not mathematically eliminated from this either. What are these drivers going to have to do to hoist that championship trophy next week in Phoenix?
Well, the first thing they got to do is survive tonight, Ellis. And, a track like this with the type of super speedway racing that we're going to see around here, a drafting style track, it breeds chaos. So step number 1, can't get too far ahead of yourself and start thinking about Phoenix. You got to try to get as many points as you can tonight and just try to be around at the end of this thing to get as many points as you can. All drivers you see right there on the screen, they are still eligible for this championship. And, it's going to be really, really close at the end of this thing. I have no doubt.
Atlanta's going to throw a whole wild card into that. We'll talk about that here just momentarily with some of our stories that we're going to be following, and you fans can follow along at home. Things that are going to be important to keep an eye on tonight. The first one, Chris, big runs. The real NASCAR Cup Series just headed here last week, and we saw a wild race. Some of the most lead changes in a race we've seen in a long time. Drivers going to have big runs. Do they have to take those runs every time? Why is that so important?
Well, yeah, I don't think you'll see as big a runs as what you saw maybe in those next-gen cars last week, but I still think you'll see big runs considering this is a 1.5-mile racetrack, and with super speedway racing on a 1.5-mile racetrack, it makes everything seem a little bit more, everything happens a lot quicker. And this is also a narrow racetrack, Ellis, a lot more narrow than what you saw at Daytona and at Talladega whenever you, race there. So especially going down to turn 1, this track really narrows up and makes things very, very tight and very, very close.
And speaking of that, you got to be careful not to go below that out of bounds line. Why is that such a touchy subject here at Atlanta? A little bit different than it has been in the past.
Yeah, the front stretch especially, got a couple kinks in the front stretch, and I think the little stretch going out of the front stretch, the dog leg there, going into turn 1, really where the line kind of comes back up towards the right, it seems. That's what it feels like. Sometimes the drivers have to actually turn the wheel to the right there. Sometimes drivers just taking their natural line might accidentally go beneath that out of bounds line. So definitely something to watch, definitely something to keep our eyes out for, and try to make sure that you stay on that racing track, on that racing service tonight.
Now, typically when we talk about drafting partners, we're talking about a place like Daytona or Talladega. We're going to see similar racing to that tonight?
Well, I probably should have put a question mark right there, because I do think that it will be important to have partners, but it's harder to organize that here on this type of track because, Ellis, I think handling matters a little bit more here than it does at Daytona and Talladega. So you still have to have the car driving well, and I think a good driving car wins out over sheer speed and sheer draft over the course of a long run.
And speaking of long runs, hopefully we'll have some, but what could thwart that is the big one. We talk about the big one again at Daytona and Talladega, but tonight we're at Echo Park Speedway, which is essentially a drafting track. When you get these types of cars on top of each other at high speeds, Chris, things can go wrong in a hurry.
Yeah, they definitely can. And, here with the track surface being, we mentioned it before, it's narrow, it's smaller, it's a little bit tighter confines. It's harder to avoid the big one here, I think, than it is at Daytona or Talladega because you just don't have as much escape room to, get around any type of trouble that you might come across on the racetrack. So, the driver that finds himself in victory lane tonight is probably going to have to, avoid a big crash at some point.
And if you're one of those top 6 drivers, I know you definitely want to find yourself in victory lane, Chris, but tonight could be a big opportunity, for one of those 5th or 6th place drivers to potentially, really get themselves into contention like Tyler Honeycutt or Dustin Lewis. But we can't forget about the rest of the field. They're going to play a role in this as well. Anyone's got a chance tonight.
Yeah, they definitely do. This is a wild card race and a great opportunity race for many drivers who maybe haven't won a race this season, but also for those drivers who are further back a little bit in the championship points. So a great opportunity wild card race for you to make up some ground and also just to get a checkered flag on the season.
Speaking of checkered flags, we got 2 of them left to give away this season. Just the second to last race of the NSRLA Downtown Auto Sales Series. And qualifying has come to a close, which means we know the starting grid for tonight. We're going to go ahead and take it trackside to look at where your favorite drivers are going to be starting tonight here at Echo Park Speedway in Atlanta, Georgia. And on the pole, it should not be a surprise. There he is, Donnie Honeycutt. It's now taken 2 hands to count how many times Donnie Honeycutt has started from that lead position. He rolls off first. Adam Pettit, so fast in the last several weeks since he's come on board with the series. He'll start to the outside. Third place is going to be Brock Whiteman. Keep an eye on that 41 Chicago White Sox car. He's hungry for a win, and he's shown he's got the speed. Brandon V's to his outside, that number 65. Tough luck for several races this season, but that driver has had speed every single week for the past month and a half. Andy Berry, one of the best starting spots he's had all season since his first win of the season at Daytona. Can he go 2 for 3 at draft tracks this season tonight at Atlanta? 6th place is going to be Travis Bieber in that number 23. 7th, another championship hopeful, Evan Janick. So fast. Does he have the speed to get the job done tonight? He's coming from 7th. Our NSRLA media man, Casey Bristow, is going to be starting 8th in that number 11 machine. What do we got on that? Is that, I thought that was a hot dog in the side of the car, but I'm not sure that's some sort of car part, some sort of engine part. Clearly I have no business talking about cars. What is that, Chris?
I don't know. It says gaskets. I'm not sure what that is.
I don't know. Yeah. Well, he's starting 8th with the gaskets car. 9th, it's a head gasket. That's what our producer's telling us. At least I want to blame it on him if it's wrong. Jacob Cochran starting 8th or 9th, I should say, in that number 8 machine. Meanwhile, Stephen Gill in that number 5 comes from 10th tonight.
Yeah, and rolling off 11th, you've got Dustin Lewis in the 33, one of our championship drivers. On his outside, you got Jerry Salinas starting in 12th. On the inside of row 7, Gino Volante. Happy birthday, Gino. He's starting 13th. And on his outside, Bradley Minor looking to pick up another drafting win tonight. Cody Riggs is going to roll off in the 15th position. On his outside, Ryan Bittler in the number 9. Roy Sprague is going to start 17th, and on his outside, Matthew Hill. We haven't seen Matthew in a while. He's going to start 18th. And rounding out the field, you've got Christian Barnes and Tyler Honeycutt sharing the final row.
Chris, drivers pulling these belts tight. I think we are in store for quite the show tonight, folks. If you're tuning in, get that beverage of your choice, that bowl of popcorn, that bag of chips. Toss that remote out the window. You're not going to need it tonight. Keep it locked on Slingshot TV as the pace truck, I should say, is going to make that left-hand turn to go down that narrow pit road. And it's going to be on the flagman to get us started tonight in Atlanta. 117 laps. They start right now. Green flag out at Atlanta. Honeycutt gets away quickly. V's gets a bit of a run on the outside, but he's going to be dealing with Brock Whiteman. A couple cars slow on the outside. That might have been Jerry Salinas who had a bit of a rough start there, Chris. Headed down into turn 1. Brock Whiteman all over the back bumper of Donnie Honeycutt.
Yeah, Brock Whiteman in that 41 giving Donnie Honeycutt a little bit of a push down into turn 1 right there. Put Honeycutt and Whiteman up to 1st and 2nd. Meanwhile, they're 2 wide behind them. Andy Berry on the inside. He's got company on the outside. Brandon V's trying to lead that outside lane back up. Charge for that 2nd position right there. That 65 is looking pretty strong.
Chris, drivers not having a lot of whole practice in big packs like this, getting a first really glance at what the outside line is going to be capable of doing in 7 or 8 car packs. And right now, Brandon V's carries that momentum on the outside, and he's going to get up to 2nd place, maybe even higher, to the back bumper of Donnie Honeycutt. He's now got Shane Bieber Travis Bieber right behind him, Chris. They're running over each other out there.
Yeah, they definitely are right there. And yeah, the speeds are greater at this point, you know, with all the cars on track, running in a big pack, punching a huge hole in the air. These drivers probably haven't been running this fast in practice yet, so their cars are going to be handling a little bit different possibly than what they were experiencing earlier.
Well, right now, lap 3 of 117 in the books. That's Brock Whiteman on the inside in that Chicago White Sox car with the other black and white machine, that number 22, Donnie Honeycutt, a championship hopeful. 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 as they carry it into that banking down through turns 3 and 4. Now down the front straightaway, a little bit of a wiggle from that number 41. And Chris, they're getting into the danger zones that you mentioned in the pre-race.
Yeah, they're not really advancing their position down there, so I think that that's totally fine right here at this point down there on that red and white line. It's just hard not to, go down there with the kinks in the front stretch. It's just your momentum kind of carries you down there, especially when you're too wide. Running too wide right here on a track this narrow, it can be a little bit dicey at some points right here. So I just think the natural momentum of your car is kind of going to carry you down there. As long as you're not making some daring 3-wide pass underneath it, I think that you're going to be okay.
No, Brock Whiteman almost slides up the track into that number 22 of Donnie Honeycutt. Car starting to get a little bit wiggly out there. We've seen that be the second wiggle for Brock Whiteman in that 41. Honeycutt, Whiteman side by side. Andy Berry and Brandon Vees, they have a little squabble going on of their own down in the corner. It looks like Vees has the momentum on the outside. He's got that draft right behind the 22 of Donnie Honeycutt. Vees off the corner looks to second place on that lap. Can he channel it into a full pass down into turn number one car, a little bit struggle behind him. The 21 of Andy Berry slips out of the picture there, back to 6th place, but up front, Brandon Vees has a hot rod under him, looks to pass Honeycutt down into turn number 3.
Yeah, Brandon Vees with a good run up on the top lane, and we've seen this second lane in real life, Ellis. It seems to be like probably the fastest lane. You can just carry your momentum a little bit more up there in that middle groove, and Brandon Vees is making it work right here, and he's got a good push right here. Travis Bieber, he's not actually physically pushing that rear bumper. Bieber's a little bit high right here, 1 and 2. I think he's a little bit higher than what he wants to be, but you don't have to actually be physically pushing. Just, being close to that rear bumper gives a little bit of an aero advantage.
Now see an orange car in the picture. That number 33 of Dustin Lewis, now in 4th place, came into the championship hunt 36 points out, but going to do himself wonders right now. He's the 2nd place car in the championship, at least in terms of race position right now, behind Donnie Honeycutt. Chris, how racy do you expect to see that 33 tonight? He's got as we ride on board, you can see struggling with a little bit of a not a roadblock in front of him, but that 23 is getting pretty close to the wall.
Yeah, he's running really, really close to Travis Bieber right there. And yeah, I think that we'll see Dustin Lewis try to be aggressive tonight. I think that we'll see him try to get as many championship or stage points as he can tonight. He has a lot of ground that he has to make up. Tyler Honeycutt's got a lot of ground he's got to make up as well. So I think as we see these drivers get really high right here entering the corner, I think we'll see both of them try to get stage points in stage 1 and stage 2.
As the lead intensifies, Travis Bieber pushing Donnie Honeycutt out to the lead. We've seen the bump draft play a role early, and it's going to continue to be something to keep an eye on. Drivers going to have to be careful to square up those bumpers before they tap the driver in front of them. Now working lap number 10 of 117. Honeycutt out to the lead, no problem. It's a battle for 2nd place there. The red and black number 23 of Travis Bieber up top, now going to lend a helping hand to Donnie Honeycutt. Brandon Vees with no help, at least 2 car links back yet to go to find Brock Whiteman in 4th place right now.
Yeah, Brock Whiteman having a little bit of a hard time pulling up on the rear bumper of Brandon Vees. That car was kind of wiggling a little bit in 3 and 4. You see Dustin Lewis also wiggling as well. This is why Atlanta Motor Speedway, or Echo Park as it's now called, Ellis, it kind of is a little bit different than Daytona and Talladega drafting style-wise. You can kind of see these cars wiggling and moving around, a little bit more here than you do on those 2 tracks. And yeah, you can see right there a little bit of a push right there to the back of Donnie Honeycutt. But we're going to watch these cars and see if we continue to see them slip and slide over the course of this first stage.
Definitely some slipping and sliding going on. I want to go all the way back, slide back to 8th position, where it's Jacob Cochran in that Melling number 8, a Bill Elliott throwback paint scheme that so many fans here in Atlanta will definitely recognize. But Chris, I'm a little bit concerned if I'm Jacob Cochran back here in 9th. I feel like I'm kind of in the hornet's nest. How eager do you think Cochran is to get out of that position? Because if something goes wrong, we've seen a couple checkups, he's going to be right in the danger zone as he rides behind that number 12 of Cody Riggs.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's just kind of in a spot right here where there's nowhere to go. They're running too wide, in formation. We have had a few drivers, go from the top to the bottom right here, so they're not in the same formation they started in, but it almost looks like it. And See a lot of wiggling going on right here, and yeah, you kind of find yourself in this position right here. Yeah, we got Tyler Honeycutt really looking for those stage points. Cochran in the wall.
In the wall, big trouble back in turns 3 and 4. Points leader Jacob Cochran in just the next to last race of the season slammed that right side into the turn 3 wall. We're going to have to wait to see if there's any significant damage on that number 8 as he rides the high line, trying to test it out and see is any harm been done to that right side of the number 8. Back up front though, it looks like it's Talladega. 3 or 4 cars leaning on each other, front bumper to back bumper as Donnie Honeycutt catapults out to the lead, but he's got company with Travis Bieber as well as Brandon Vees as they cross the line to come to lap 15.
Yeah, Travis Bieber looking to the outside, trying to form that third lane. He had aspirations, it looked like, to go high on Donnie Honeycutt, but it kind of narrowed up right there into turn 1, and he thought a little bit better of it. Brandon Vees, kind of utilized that sort of break-in momentum from the top lane, and he is going to clear the top lane. And I like that move, Ellis, to move up to that lane and try to control that lane. I think that's the lane that you want to try to control all race. Try to lead the second lane, get that momentum off the corner. You can usually clear the bottom lane on corner exit if you're running up there.
The 65 of Brandon Vees goes to the point. There's a new leader, but Brock Whiteman looks to clarify that statement for fans watching as that number 41 White Sox machine goes down into turn number 3 with a big helping hand from Barry in that number 21. Easy for me to say. Barry lifts off the throttle graciously and gives the 41 that bump, but it really maybe is a disadvantage to Whiteman without any help. Looks like Brandon Vees is going to get back to the lead in turn number 1. Lap 17 of 117, so just 100 laps left, Chris. About 14 laps in the stage. How racy do you think we're going to get as this gets down to the wire, as stage points do count towards the championship?
Yeah, I think everybody's playing pretty nice right now. See Andy Berry sliding up, Brock Whiteman sliding up, and maybe a sign right there of these cars losing the handle. I don't think they'll lose the handle as quickly as maybe they would at some other, drafting style, Atlanta races. Mainly because we're at night here. It's about 78 degrees. Track temp is pretty cool and comfortable right now. But I do think, to answer your question, Ellis, as we get into about the final 4 or 5 laps of this stage, I wouldn't be surprised at all to start seeing some more daring moves, some possible 3-wide moves to try to get yourself further up into the order here to grab some more stage points.
Absolutely. Brock Whiteman swings it high. He's got help from Donnie Honeycutt. Brandon Vees is going to have to mount that challenge as he rides on the inside. He's got company with Brock Whiteman on the outside, but he's also got to deal with why can't I get Barry to right tonight? Andy Barry in that number 21 machine. That second car on the inside. That diesel laptops, number 21. A heck of a run from driver number 21, Barry, that we've seen be so fast on these draft tracks, Chris. He claimed the win at Daytona about 4 months ago and maybe looking to go out with a bang here in the final 2 races of the season. I know a win for that number 21 would mean the world to him as he rides under Brock Whiteman, currently in second place. Chat's coming in right now on YouTube, folks. We got Connor Lyons, Renee Lewis, Doodlebug, KC757, Renee Lewis in the chat, all letting us know who they're rooting for tonight. You can do that too, folks. We're giving away a Christopher Bell diecast. Make sure you get your comments in. And Chris, they must have heard you because they're starting to get a little racy, which is 10 laps left in stage number 1.
Yeah, Andy Berry going for the lead right there. Brandon Vees trying to protect that top lane. Put Andy Berry, our Daytona, our season opening winner, up to the front right here. He's got a good push from Cody Riggs behind him. Cody has been leading the contender standings, and he has been very, very racy since he made his debut here in the series. But put Andy Berry out to the front. I liked what I saw out of Andy Berry in 3 and 4 a couple laps ago. I think it's really important, Ellis, to not let your car slide up the hill, because I do think a little bit of tire advantage can go a long way as this race goes on right here. And yeah, I think that maybe breathing the throttle a little bit is a better strategy than trying to run wide open and let your car slide around.
Yeah, I like that for sure. I know these drivers definitely going to be considering anything and everything they can do to maintain the balance of those race cars. Here coming to lap number 23, 8 laps left. Andy Berry out front, but he's got company behind him. One of those cars is Tyler Honeycutt. Honeycutt in that 54. He's the 4th car on the outside, back in the 8th position. He's climbed 11 spots tonight, Chris, starting all the way back in 19th, now up to 8th, looking for 7th. He's one of those championship hopefuls. He's got to throw a Hail Mary tonight if he's going to have a shot headed into Phoenix.
Yeah, I'm going to be watching him and Dustin Lewis here. Tyler Honeycutt, the 54, Dustin Lewis, the 33. They're side by side right now. I think they need to be aggressive right here in the final about 6 or 7 laps, no pun intended, of this stage number 1 right here. I think that they need to get as many positions as they can. And look at Tyler Honeycutt coming up the middle on his teammate, Donnie Honeycutt, taking no prisoners right here.
He's saying, Daddy, I'm sorry, but I need the points. I got to have a shot at this championship. I got to do what I got to do. The 54 with a little bit of a wiggle. These cars starting to handle a little bit worse. One car, Christian Barnes, 2nd place in the championship. He's right in the middle of 2 other championship drivers.
Oh, contact!
Honeycutt, 1 car slams into them. Gino Volante, it's a 3-car pileup, and that had been brewing for at least a half a lap. 2 championship contenders. In fact, 3rd and 4th in the championship. What happened, Chris?
Yeah, I think that this is just, how turn 1, how, you're approaching the end of the front stretch. It kind of narrows up right there. And yeah, we'll see if we can go back and maybe, I wonder if we can get maybe like an overhead perspective or something like that of this crash right here to be able to show kind of, how the track kind of gets a little bit more narrow going down into turn 1 right here. Christian Barnes in the 27 in the middle right there. Yeah, Cam read my mind right there. And you kind of see, I think that might have been just a little bit, Donnie Honeycutt kind of coming down the hill to make that entry into turn 1. Christian Barnes trying to move up a little bit maybe to, get his arc into the corner right there. They kind of come together, and unfortunately for them and Gino Volante, heavy crash into the outside wall, and I think that's going to be the end of a couple of nights.
Yeah, severe damage. I think Barnes took the worst of it. Honeycutt got it pretty hard, too. 1 car going to make their way down pit road. You can see Brock Whiteman in that number 41. I kind of like that strategy. Go ahead, get it done now. I'm sure he might not be sure if we're going to go back green. Chris, it seems like every week these cautions happen right at the end of the stage, but almost with enough time to give us like a 1-lap shootout. I'm wondering if we're going to have that this time by. It's going to be 4 laps remaining. I think we're going to be in store for a quick little shootout, which could produce some pretty intense racing. Right now, lap number 27 of 117, under 100 laps left tonight in the next to last race for NSRLA in the Downtown Auto Sales Series. Andy Berry currently leading the way. I'm Ellis Thomas, joined by Chris Smith and Cam Gillens in the Slingshot TV booth. Folks, we're glad you joined us. It is going to be an awesome night of racing. Make sure you get those comments in the chat. Let us know who you're rooting for. We're going to play a little bit of trivia here in a second. You can win that Christopher Bell diecast. Chris, you know I love a good purple diecast. That Yahoo car I don't use Yahoo search engine. I don't know if anyone does, to be honest, but it's a good-looking paint scheme regardless. I think we should go ahead and play maybe a little bit of trivia here. I think pit road was open that time. So, yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, do you mind if we very quickly do a side-by-side before we do that trivia? Just very quickly, Cam? If we can go side-by-side right here, I want to give the fans at home that are watching a little bit of a perspective right here down into turn number 1, and kind of show off what occurred right here. So on the right-hand side of your screen, you can kind of see Christian Barnes in the middle right there. Donnie Honeycutt, watch the hash lines right there. You can see Honeycutt coming down a little bit right there, down into turn 1 to try to set up his entry right there because these cars are sliding a little bit. And I just wanted to be able to show that right there to show, Donnie Honeycutt had no intentions of hooking the right rear Christian Barnes right there. We've seen him enough this season to know that. I think he was just, very, very, focused on trying to make it into that corner as best he could.
We did hear from Christian Barnes. He says he's done. He believes his championship run is over. We also heard from Casey Bristow. He says he's got the Sage Vanderspin paint scheme. That's what we were looking at earlier from Cars. Right now, we'll go ahead and throw a little trivia question up on the board. Folks, let us know if you know the answer to this in the chat. Which legendary Atlanta drive-in claims to serve more Coca-Cola than any other single location in the world? Is it Barry Mac's Tea Room, the Varsity, or the Busy Bee Cafe? Atlanta, a city known for Coca-Cola. Let us know what you think the correct answer to that question is. Who serves the most Coke in the world? Is it Mary Mac's Tea Room, the Varsity, or the Busy Bee Cafe? Chris, it's going to be a 2-lap shootout. What are you telling your driver here, especially if you're in a championship hunt, based on what just happened as well?
I'm telling Dustin Lewis, I'm telling Tyler Honeycutt, you got to pull them belts tight. And you got to get up on the wheel right here and try to get all that you can get. And if I'm Andy Berry right here, I want to spoil those championship hopes for those drivers right here. I want to try to keep that track position that I got right now, do everything that I can, because it's going to get crazy right here in these final couple of laps.
It is going to get crazy indeed. Some chat answers coming into that question. We'll keep an eye on that. Right now, we're getting set for the restart. We'll bring that question back up in just a minute once we watch this restart, but want to get all eyes on what is going to be an absolutely wild 2-lap dash here. Pace truck doesn't want any part of it. He turns it over to Andy Berry, the control car, with Brandon V's to its outside. They're in the restart zone. Berry mashes that throttle. V spins the tire. Big stack up. Championship contenders in it. Honeycutt and Minor both down into the grass on the front straightaway. And that started, Chris, with the number 65 who spun the tires, if I had to guess. And no one saw that coming.
Yeah, we'll go back and watch it right here. I'm willing to bet, Ellis, I think he was in 4th gear by the looks of that right there. I wonder if, you can really see the stack up right there behind him. Watch Bradley Minor trying to come up through the gears. And, you can see him take off. He doesn't really spin the tires. It just doesn't go. That's a huge stack up right there. I wonder, Cam, if we can ride on board with Brandon V's right here. You can kind of listen and watch the tachometer. And see the revs right there. But that is so unfortunate for those drivers behind him. There's Brandon V's in the 65. Here we are riding on board with him, coming to the restart zone right there. Andy Berry to his inside. And you can see right here. It doesn't go. And he tries to downshift right there to get going. Unfortunately, by that point, it's too late for those drivers behind him.
So just a mental mistake by the number 65 sets off a chain reaction that puts us under caution. That is officially going to be the end of stage number 1. Andy Berry going to win that stage, take home all 10 points for first place. Cody Riggs, Casey Bristow, 2nd and 3rd. Brandon V's, despite that incident, brings it home 4th. Dustin Lewis, Chris, he got damage, along with 6th place Jacob Cochran. 3 championship contenders involved in that. And Chris, 5 out of the 6 cars in the championship 6 have been involved in a crash. The only one who hasn't taken any damage, as far as I know, is that number 60 of Evan Janick. What a night to be a driver of that number 60 car here in Atlanta.
Yeah, Evan's still sitting good in the points. I think he came into this just 9 points out of the lead. And Ellis, that's with the issues that he had last week at Nashville. So, this is a great start for him. He's currently running in the 10th position. It does appear that he does have some nose damage. So he might have got some nose damage in that stack up right there. So not even Evan Janick has got out of this unscathed.
So all 6 championship hopefuls have damage, folks. It has been wild under the lights here in Atlanta so far. I don't think that is going to change. Keep those comments coming. We've got folks chiming in. Renee Lewis, George Mock, they all answered the Varsity. Doodlebug answered as well. And I know my mother-in-law, Moki, knows the answer to that. We're glad you are here as well, Moki. The answer is indeed the Varsity. Great job for those who answered that correctly. Renee Lewis, Chris, got a fun fact for us. We'll talk about that after we watch these pit stops at the end of stage number 1. Andy Berry going to lead him down pit road here.
Yeah, Andy Berry coming down pit road right here. It's a little bit of a strange pit road entrance. We'll have to watch that all race long to make sure nobody gets nabbed for an illegal pit entry. You got to pit all the way at the entry to turn 3, and that was done for the real-life NASCAR racing. where, it's a very sudden turn off of pit road, and that can be very dangerous with this pack style racing that is now here at Atlanta. So, we'll have to watch that, especially I don't think, Ellis, fingers crossed, but I don't know if we'll actually see a green flag pit stop tonight, with the stage racing and, with the final stage, everybody kind of racing hard right there. But drivers getting 4 tires right here and going to get back out there with a lot more maneuverability in their cars. But I take it back, Stephen Gill might have just taken 2.
Boy, yeah, you are absolutely right, Chris. Looking at that time in the pit box, 5.1 seconds. I'm not even sure if he took 2 tires. Is that a fuel-only stop?
Yeah, I just went back and watched, and yeah, he just did fuel only right there. So, yeah, we're gonna have to watch that car right here on this restart right here. We had several drivers, Ellis, stay out. Adam Pettit, Roy Sprague, Brock Whiteman, Travis Bieber, all 4 of those drivers actually came on the previous caution. So, and they can make it to the end of stage 2 on a tank of fuel, no problem at all, based upon the fuel numbers we got in the pre-race. Yeah, that's a good call, I think, for those drivers to get their tires a few laps ago and get some track position.
I like that call I was talking about. That's a call that I might go for, especially if I'm taking a big swing at things here in Atlanta. Speaking of Atlanta, Renee Lewis says Jeff Bodine's 97 qualifying lap remains the fastest in non-restrictor plate history here at Atlanta. As of last week, Atlanta isn't an aero track any longer. You can win the 3 fenders. Oh, yes, you can.
True.
My favorite driver, Tyler Reddick, took home that win just a few days ago with no right front bumper or fender, I guess. So these drivers, they're going to need that fender tonight, I have a feeling. If you don't have the fender on the car tonight, you might be out of luck like several of our championship hopefuls.
Yeah, I think so as well. And Ellis, I can remember that Jeff Bodine qualifying lap. I was a youngster at the time, but that was my first year really watching NASCAR racing, and they had just reconfigured the track into the quad oval, and it was repaved, and it was blistering fast. And Jeff Bodine was a lot faster than anybody else, and it just like was one of those numbers that you just couldn't believe somebody go around 1.5 miles that fast.
Yeah, that's hey, I'll tell you this. I've been 160 at Atlanta Motor Speedway before in one of these cars. So it is not 197 miles an hour though. So, but it felt like it. It sure did feel like it. Connor Lyons, it's going to happen. Tyler Reddick's going 3-0 at row at Circuit of the Americas this Sunday. Mark my words. Right now, any driver just looking for a win, including Brock Whiteman and Adam Pettit, they're going to be your front row as we get ready to approach the restart zone to get us underway here in stage number 2 at Echo Park Speedway here in Atlanta, Georgia. That 96 of Pettit, he's the control car. Wait for him to get in that restart zone. He's in it. He goes late. The rest of the field reacts, but the number 96 of Pettit gets a great restart. Seeing the black flag for a couple of drivers, going to be waiting for race director to likely clear those black flags for Bieber, Honeycutt, and Minor, and they're going away right now. Pettit and Whiteman, they get away cleanly, but yeah, that battle going on for 4th place, Chris. Cody Riggs and Roy Sprague. Sprague jumping down the bottom of the track. He has seen enough. Got his TV time, and he darts out to pit road potentially here. But Travis Bieber climbs the banking there. He's got Cody Riggs, who's looking inside as the door opens for 3rd place.
Yeah, I wanted to make note really quickly about Brock Whiteman, one of those drivers who pit on the caution before. He actually only took 2 tires, so I think his left side tires are the same tires he started the race with. So he and Stephen Gill on a little bit older rubber compared to some of their competitors right here. So it's not slowing him down right here. He's still delivering a pretty good push right here to Adam Pettit, 2nd car right there on the inside lane.
Chris, are drivers learning anything? Maybe looking at that number 5 machine, 4th in line on the inside. That is Stephen Gill. Took no tires after having 30 laps on those tires and continues. I'm looking at his right now. He has, he's got 35 lap old tires on that car. Are drivers watching and seeing how much they can get away with here?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's definitely something to keep in mind, especially as we get later on in the race and you maybe need to gain some track position, move up a little bit further in the pack. It's hard to leapfrog your way through this pack, it seems. You almost have to make some daring 3-wide moves. Tyler Honeycutt's going to make one of them right here to the outside of Brandon Vees. He hits the wall. Bradley Martin trying to follow him. Oh, he gets loose in return one.
And a series of unfortunate events almost put us under our third caution of the night.
Oh, Dustin Lewis in the wall.
Oh boy, the 33 has trouble a little bit further back. Not sure. We're going to find out what happened. Got the wall out of turn number 2, I believe, as he got up to the back bumper of Casey Bristow. And Chris, are we starting to see some aero influence the handling of these cars here?
Yeah, very well possibly. That could be something that is going on. Yeah, and also just on a super speedway style track, there's a lot of reaction to what goes on around you. And sometimes just react, you get so hyper-focused on following a driver. You don't really follow drivers at any track as much as you do. That was a dicey move right there. But sometimes you can follow a driver into trouble as Stephen Gill gets low all the way down on the apron. He's going to hold on to it. We're still green.
And that car, we were just talking about him, Chris, having trouble on no fresh tires. Gill got loose off the corner off of turn number 4. And boy, that was as close as you get. We almost had another caution there up front right now. Lap 39, headed to 40 laps in with just 60 laps in stage, or I should say 30 laps in stage number 2. 20 laps remaining here, Chris. Up front, Brandon Vees. Had trouble on that restart, but he hasn't looked back, hasn't missed a beat since then. He's your leader with Adam Pettit in second place. Brock Whiteman third. He's got Travis Bieber to the high line. Drivers give him plenty of space right now. First big battle, Chris. Jacob Cochran has vaulted all the way back from 10th or 11th place within about 4 laps. He's up to 4th place, challenging for more right now.
Yeah, great drive for Jacob Cochran. He is gaining some of that track position right here. He's getting further and further up in that running order. I'm wondering if we can go side by side real quick as we see him try to get to the inside of Jacob Cochran. Wonder if we can look back right here to show what happened to Stephen Gill. He was all the way down to the apron.
And Dustin Lewis having trouble after turn number 2. Sorry to interrupt, Chris, but you saw it in the left-hand corner. Another big moment. Sorry to interrupt, but yeah. Driver struggling right now. We're about to see another one.
Yeah, Stephen Gill right here in this white and red number 5 machine. See him entering turn 3. There's a little bit of a stack up, and he gets hit from behind by Andy Berry.
Big trouble. Andy Berry in it as well. That's the championship leader. He's done for the night on the front straightaway. My goodness, Chris, all hell has broken loose in the past 2 laps.
Yeah, it definitely has. It's a lot of chaos out there, that's for sure.
My goodness.
And Jacob Cochran is the latest victim.
Big championship implications here on lap number 42. We're going to return to the scene of the crime and see what happened to the championship leader.
You see Adam Pettit in front of him a little bit loose. He closes up on the rear bumper, and yeah, they make some contact, and that gets the 8 a little sideways down into Cody Riggs. You see Andy Berry sliding down there to the inside right there, but yeah, that was a little bit of front nose to tail contact. It got the 8 a little bit out of shape, and just it only takes a little bit here when you're running as close as these guys are running here, and that knocked him down the track and into the path of Cody Riggs and Andy Berry. I don't think that we're going to have too many other drivers that were caught up in this, but man, yeah, just a very, very unfortunate set of circumstances for our points leader, Jacob Cochran.
Chris, first, third, and fourth coming into this race in the championship standings have all had significant incidents tonight. Talk about opening the door for some of the more wild card guys a little bit further out, like Tyler Honeycutt and Dustin Lewis. We knew it was going to be a wild card opportunity. One of those nights where you could put your fate into your hands. And right now, these guys might be headed into Phoenix if they can keep a clean race. Obviously, we've got a lot of laps left here tonight, but they've had a gift handed them. And I know they're definitely thinking about that right now as we cross over to lap number 43 of 117. The running order as it stands, you can see it on your left. We're still led by Adam Pettit. Right behind him, it's Brandon Vees and Brock Whiteman. We saw most drivers come down pit road just about 13 laps ago, so I think most drivers are going to hold off in terms of whether they can make it to the end of stage 2 in about 17 laps or so. I see one driver down there peeking down pit road. Andy Berry in that number 21 is going to come down and I'd likely get some of that damage repaired. So big championship swings happening here in Atlanta Motor Speedway. Folks, we are going to get our commercial break in early as we are going to hear from our partners at Whiplash SimCams who have, they put us up to work tonight with these cameras, but Whiplash, they're bringing it with every angle of every incident, every pass. We'll be right back after the break. Don't go anywhere. You are looking live at the NSRLA Downtown Auto Sales Series in Atlanta, Georgia at Echo Park Speedway. Lap 44, coming to lap 45, just 16 laps left in stage number 2 of the next to last race of the season. 5 out of 6 championship hopefuls have had their nights go south quickly in the first third of the race. We'll talk more about that later, but right now we're looking at this restart. Brandon V's looking for his first win of the season. Adam Pettit looking for win number 3. He's the control car, that white number 96 on the inside. They're going to wait for that pace truck to make that left-hand turn as he turns it over to the rest of the field. They're waiting for that green Echo Park restart zone. Back under green here in Atlanta. Chris struggles again, and he stacks up the field for the second restart in a row. That number 65 has had trouble, and Brock Whiteman is going to pay the price. V's gets away with it, ducks down into the third line, but Chris, did he make the same mistake 2 times in a row?
No, I don't think that one was on him. I think that actually that was probably the 41 of Brock Whiteman who was in the wrong gear. Yeah, he was also in in either third or fourth gear right there, and that was the 65 of V's. He restarted perfectly. It was the 41 that time.
Okay, so apologies to V's and the fans watching at home rooting on Brandon V's. He is in second place, at least going for second place right now. Chris, honestly, I'm looking at that 65 is kind of the upset pick to win here tonight. Doesn't have anything to lose, not racing for a championship. He's letting it all hang out, and we're seeing that right now. This is the fastest we've seen that Aflac Duck go so far this season as he deals with Cody Riggs. Right now, Riggs kind of in the epicenter of that crash just about 5 laps ago, but he's back up to third place right now. About 5-6 cars that you have to throw a blanket over down in turns number 1. Chris, they're coming to you down the backstretch.
Yeah, coming down the backstretch right here, Brandon V's was holding strong on the outside without any help. Really, pulled even with Adam Pettit. Now he's got some help from Travis Bieber all over the back bumper of that 65. And I think that's going to be the push that he needs to maybe maybe lead this lap right here as they approach the start-finish line. We see the momentum right there on that second lane. I mentioned before, Ellis, I think that's the lane. From everything that I've seen so far tonight, you see V's going to the bottom. I think I'd want to control the top lane if I could. I just think that there's something to, be found with that momentum that you get. But, both lanes working pretty good. It's been pretty even all race long tonight.
Yeah, I definitely think the momentum, at least as we approach turns number 3 and 4, seems to be on the outside. Cars moving and shaking right now. Bradley Minor with a little bit of trouble, a little bit further back. But boy, Chris, right now, Dustin Lewis enters into the Hornet's nest. Janick, as we watch him a good ways back there, he's got about 5 or 6 car lengths. He's given space to the rest of the field. I like that strategy. Janick right now 100. That's been pretty low for him so far tonight, Chris. I think he's just getting settled in for these last 10 laps of stage number 2. The leader are not letting off the throttle one bit. Coming to 11 to go. And right now, Brandon V is giving no quarter to Adam Pettit and vice versa as they cross the line.
Yeah, that short little green flag stint that we had here at the beginning of stage 2, I saw Evan Janick just kind of riding at the back, and when that crash with Jacob Cochran happened on the front stretch, Janick was quickly on the binders, and he just, allowed the crash to unfold right before him, slowed it down right there. He wasn't really interested in getting up there in the mix. This is the furthest forward we've seen him in a good while, and I think he's, sensing that he needs to get some stage points right here, but yeah, it's been a pretty clean night for him, considering all the issues his championship rivals have had.
Yeah, I'm thinking about this situation. If I'm in the shoes of that number 60 of Janick right now running, currently in the 9th position, do you sacrifice those stage points for maybe not being involved in what inevitably feels like it is going to be a crash before we see that stage 2 green and white checkered flag? I think that there's something to maybe be said for that strategy. I know that he's in that championship hunt, but Chris, he's the only car that hasn't really taken any significant damage of those top 6.
Yeah, he hasn't, but Jacob Cochran is still circulating the racetrack, and though he is a little bit off the pace, here he is right here. He's got a lot of damage to the rear bumper of that downtown Auto Sales Ford. As you can see right there. And yeah, he's pretty far off the pace, but I think Evan Janick might feel like, he might need to get a little bit of stage points on, his championship rival right there maybe. And Donnie Honeycutt as well, a little bit further back. Also, a lot of damage to that 22 car. So there he is. And, if Evan can nab a few stage points right here, he can, maybe build up a little bit of that cushion possibly. So, the temptation is definitely there.
Hey, give a shout out to Casey Bristow. He's the 3rd car on that outside line. That blue and orange number 11, a Cars paint scheme tonight. Paying tribute, I believe, to Vander. Something, I can't remember that. I've seen Cars like once or twice. I'm sure some fans know it at home, but having a good run there in that number 11 machine. Started back in the 8th position. He's marched it back up into the top 6 here over the last 3 or 4 laps. Bristow, the NSRLA media guy, does a great job covering the series for these drivers, getting interviews and nice little sound bites from these guys after every race. Shout out to him, and boy, he gave a shout out to Tyler Honeycutt right behind him. The 11 moved up the track, and the 54 had to react. Up front, though, Chris, the battle for the lead has intensified. Looks like the momentum has shifted back to the outside, where Adam Pettit leads the line over Travis Bieber and Casey Bristow. But as soon as I say that, Brandon Vies gets clear in front. He's on the point now.
Yeah, Brandon Vies with a good push right there from Cody Riggs, nosing out in front of Adam Pettit. I believe, Ellis, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Riggs and Pettit are teammates. And I think that they are in opposite lines as each other right now. So, yeah, sometimes that's just how it works out. You can't really get nose to tail with your teammates. And I think, Ellis, it's harder here at Atlanta than it is at Daytona and Talladega to sort of organize those things. So, because you just don't have the maneuverability. Going 3 wide is dicey, and trying to, orchestrate something is a little bit more hectic here than it is at, the 2.5 mile tracks.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask you about that. I'm glad you brought that up, because I'm sitting here thinking, like, how comfortable are you being pushed from behind? Because, yes, this is a draft track, but you don't necessarily see that bump drafting, for prolonged periods of time that we might get used to seeing at Daytona or Talladega, but it still plays a role. And I've seen a couple cars, they've gotten upset, visibly, not like emotionally, but visibly, physically, when that rear bumper takes a shot. And right now, Andy Berry, he went across that apron, Chris, and got all sorts of out of shape. But yeah, how comfortable are you being pushed from behind in one of these cars at this track?
Yeah, there's not many good opportunities to be pushed here. I think down the backstretch is about it. But, yeah, I don't want to have that driver on my bumper entering the corner. I don't want to have them pushing me entering the corner, especially, as, the tires begin to wear out and your car might slide a little bit. You see a little bit of a push right there, a big push from Bieber to Pettit, and it got that car out of shape right there. So, I think this is more of a focus on handling and trying to run tight and close, more so than trying to run, with pushing that driver up ahead as we just got 2 laps to go in this stage, Ellis.
2 laps to go in the next to last stage of the next to last race here for the Downtown Auto Sales Series. They wind it up off the corner off of turn number 2 down the backstretch, a lap and a half left. Which driver's going to take home the most stage points and get that win here? Will it be Pettit on the outside? Will it be V's? Will it be Andy Berry, who we're riding on board with right now, behind Cody Riggs, who gets a piece of Adam Pettit? Riggs slides it down to the bottom. They both get it back under control, but that might cost Pettit a chance at the stage win here. V's now leads Chris. Is he too far in front?
He might be. They might be able to get a run, but there's the lap car up ahead. That's Jacob Cochran. He's wounded. He's going to the top lane. He's really far out there. Can the 96 of Pettit get the momentum here on the outside?
The number 96 climbs the banking. One last chance to see if he can get the momentum. He's going to take a shot at it. Will V's or Pettit win the stage? It's V's here on lap number 60 to win stage number 2. All drivers make it across the line cleanly. Pettit second, Riggs third, Andy Berry fourth, Travis Bieber rounds out your top 5. Chris, Dustin Lewis got 6th place points there. Tyler Honeycutt got 9th place points. Cody Riggs, Andy Berry. What just happened as these drivers came to a slow down the backstretch? Some drivers not going to be happy here.
Yeah, it looks like there was it's like they checked up really fast. I'm not sure if they were waiting on the pace car or, yeah, it seemed like the leader kind of checked up really, really fast. Cody Riggs checked up to not run into the back of him. And unfortunately, Cody Riggs is hit from behind by Andy Berry. And yeah, we had some more things going on in 3 and 4. There's almost some more contact down there. Yeah, it seems like these guys are waiting on the pace truck to catch them. It was one of those things where the pace truck came out of the pits and was not up to speed. It wasn't chasing the leader down. It was just going pace speed. So that's unfortunate for Cody Riggs. I don't think the damage is too significant, but he's definitely going to have to get it fixed.
Yeah, he was headed up to 3rd place in a hurry, and I thought we might have a little extracurriculars going on here right now. I see into stage number 2, folks. Driver's going to be coming down pit road here in just a lap or so. I think we're going to play a little bit more trivia, give y'all folks a little bit more Atlanta history. That one's too easy. Let's see if we can get one. This could be interesting. How about this? How about Atlanta famously hosted the Centennial Summer Olympic Games in which year? Which year was it? 1992, 1996, or 2000? Let us know in the chat. Get those comments in, folks. We're giving away that Christopher Bell diecast. More comments equals a better chance to win. Be that active chatter. Chris, is this the last time we're going to see these drivers on pit road, or are they going to have to split that final stage in half?
Yeah, they're definitely going to have to come to pit road one more time. They'll make one more trip, but that will be it in the final stage. So, yeah, they'll come down pit road this time, and then they'll have to make one more pit stop, if this thing does stay green, which, based upon what we've seen tonight, I think the likelihood of that is relatively small, just with how intense the action has been. But drivers are definitely going to get, I think they're going to get 4 tires here. Get a full tank of fuel right here. Oh, wait a minute. We got another stack up right here. Big stack up. A lot of cars got some nose damage right there on the apron. Drivers accelerating and putting on the brakes right there. And, I don't think we got any significant damage, but is that strange pit road entrance right there on the apron caught some drivers out, it looks like.
Throwing a few drivers for a loop. Brandon V is going to lead him down pit road and what might be the next to last time before we see that money stop for the win later on. V's going to make that left-hand turn. Cody Riggs with a little bit of damage from that stack up is going to be the first car to make it. Brandon V's pulls into his pit. Adam Pettit as well, and Andy Berry. First 3 cars arrive to the attention of their pit crews. Right sides go up. The pit crews will swing around to the left side, and we should see a few cars rolling off pit road. Chris, I think Dustin Lewis might have made a 2-tire call there. Big swing
Andy
for
Berry
Dustin
too.
Lewis. Andy Berry as well. Going to be the first 2 cars off of pit lane. And my goodness, Chris, this is turning out to be a night that could reset the entire championship headed into Phoenix. And I don't want to, count our chickens before they hatch, but we might be looking at 4 or 5 drivers that have a chance to win that championship headed into championship Thursday next week in Phoenix. Dustin Lewis, one of those. Brandon Vies wants to have something to say about that, though, because he wants to get the win tonight, Chris. He has been hungry. He's been up front all night long. Looking at a couple other drivers. One of those right there, Evan Janick, coming down pit road a little bit later, Chris. Is this a fuel strategy, or you think something went wrong in that first stop?
Yeah, we're going to see right here. I'm looking at the numbers right here on pit road that time. He had a 15.1 second pit stop right there. So, yeah, I will have to see right here. Maybe he's just going to come in and top it off. Maybe he wants to spend less time on pit road in this final stop, Ellis. He might be one of those drivers that's thinking, you know, if I can minimize my time on pit road, especially if it's a green flag pit stop, you know, even if it's, under caution also, might be able to, gain some ground right here. He's just going to come in, top it off. It's like he's, and he's down and away right here. So, not a bad call right there, I think, if you want to try to maybe leapfrog a few spots later on in the race.
Yeah, absolutely. Right now, getting ready for the restart, folks. Saw lots of answers popping in the chat. Lots of folks got the correct answer for this one. The Olympics were hosted in Atlanta in 1996. Great job getting those answers in. We're going to continue to look at your comments right now. We got Doodlebug rooting on that number 33. It could be a good night for Dustin Lewis in the 33 as he's going to restart on that inside in third place, Chris. Keep an eye out for that number 33. He's got a fan club rooting him on at home. Just recapping, if you're just joining us, it has been a wild night. Not a full moon in Atlanta, but these race cars have been behaving like it was. 5 out of 6 championship drivers, massive damage, and really all 6, including Evan Janick, have some form of damage, Chris. No one's gotten away cleanly here in what has been a fairly wild evening. Brandon Vies has been one of the fastest cars all night, led several laps, but Andy Berry's going to have something to say about that here. He's going to be the control car. Pace truck pulls off. Berry's going to get him back underway. Chris V struggles again on that restart. Tyler Honeycutt going to pay the price. Andy Berry, Chris, did he jump the restart? Is he trying to give it back? Potentially, are we looking at a restart violation? I don't think he jumped before the restart zone. What was that all about?
I don't know if he maybe missed a shift coming up through the gears. He definitely did not jump the restart. He did everything right. I went back and watched it. He definitely missed 4th gear as he was coming back up through the gears, or actually 3rd gear. Had a little bit of trouble getting his car into 3rd gear. Got it going now, though, as he's solidly in the 3rd position.
Hey, Tyler Honeycutt to the point for the first time tonight. Honeycutt, one of the championship hopefuls, came in 5th place out of 6 in the championship 6. Tonight could be a career-defining night. A clutch performance could vault him into serious contention for the championship at Phoenix. He's got an ally in Travis Bieber pushing him from behind right now. Headed up the banking in turn number 3, but Brandon Vies, with no help, mounts a charge on the inside. That's 65. He's impressive tonight as we hit lap 67. I know that's the kids' favorite lap, Chris.
Yeah, it definitely is. And Brandon, you mentioned it, Brandon Vies. What a great night for him tonight. He has been very, very impressive from the drop of the green flag, holding steady right there in the top 5 all night. Travis Bieber has aspirations for this lead right here. He's going to go from top lane to the bottom lane right here, going to jump down in front of Brandon Vies and see if he can jump out in front, possibly Tyler Honeycutt, as they work their way to the start-finish line. Yep, put that lap right there to the 23 of Bieber.
Oh, baby, baby, baby. Travis Bieber to the point. P number 1. That number 23 is wound up full song on the inside. He's got a charge coming from Honeycutt and Ryan Bittler into the top 5 for the first time tonight. That number 9 looks to have found some juice here in the late going in Atlanta. I know he's got some folks watching at home rooting on that number 9. He's here and he's in contention as well. Chris, business is picking up right now on lap number 70. I don't know what's going to happen. Oh, Brandon Vies,
trouble.
Vies, hold it down there, buddy. Can he hold it down and keep us green? He does. One car, Brock Whiteman, gets into the wall, and boy, Chris Evan Janick's going to really get backed up by that number 65. He had to get off the throttle. And I'm wondering, is that maybe intentional that he backed off because he knew he was going to lose the draft anyway? So why not get something going here maybe?
Yeah, I think that he just had to back off. I think that he was just he was reacting to the 65 car in front of him being out of shape right there. I think that they got a good line of cars right here. They got Adam Pettit, they got Stephen Gill. I think they'll be able to catch this group up ahead as long as they remain side by side. There's 4 of them right there in a row. As long as they run single file and the pack ahead of them continues to run side by side, I think that they will be able to have the speed to catch them.
Right now, you're watching Evan Janick and Brandon Vies try to catch up with the rest of the pack, doing everything they can to mount a charge. Currently working lap number 71 of 117, trying to make it all the way without another caution. We know drivers cannot make it the entire distance on fuel, Chris. Have they started thinking about when they might make that pit stop?
Yeah, I think that I don't think that you're going to make too many plans right now, because I think that right now you're probably expecting there is going to be a caution, as we got a lot of action going on back behind this pack right here. Evan Janick took a look to the inside of Brandon Vies, but it's all clear. We're still side by side right here for the race lead. Those teammates on the outside. I don't think you're making too many plans right now, Ellis. I think that you definitely want to try to wait around for the potential yellow later on.
Right now, these drivers looking to hopefully avoid a yellow. Coming to lap number 73, Travis Bieber and Tyler Honeycutt. They're side by side, Chris. The teammates are lined up on the outside. That's definitely an advantage for those drivers. Jacob Cochran looks they've gotten a lot of that damage repaired. He, I believe, is 2 laps down at this point, but trying to make something happen. He could get a lap back any moment, Chris. Maybe the hard way or maybe via a lucky dog if he is lucky, but boy, right now, one car, Tyler Honeycutt wiggles right in front of Travis Bieber. Going to stack up that inside line. It's going to put the momentum back to Minor on the outside, side by side at the line.
Yeah, side by side right here, the 2 teammates. Tyler Honeycutt on the inside, Bradley Minor on the outside. Their third team car. Oh, as Minor is way up the hill. Here comes Jacob Cochran through the middle. That 8 car is currently 2 laps down. He's going to try to get one of them back the hard way. And if he's able to do that, Ellis, I think that he'll fight really hard here to try to get to the lead of this pack in that number 8, because if he does, he would also receive the lucky dog. And that would put him back on the lead lap if he is out in front of everybody when the caution flag waves.
Yeah, I think this could be a big, big moment for him. Talk about a big swing, 2 laps simply by getting up to the front. I know he'll be rooting for a caution as long as it's not him. He's got a friend right now, Casey Bristow. Move him up to P number 3. Second car on the outside line right now in that bright blue and orange number 11 Cars-themed paint scheme. Could we see Casey Bristow be in victory lane at the end of the night? Any of these drivers, Chris, have a chance, and you can see those hands right now.
Oh, he's in trouble.
On board with Bristow. Boy, Cochran almost was the caution there along with Casey Bristow on lap number 76. Just about 40 laps left in the next to last race of the Downtown Auto Sales Series. Cochran swings it to the outside, still not giving up on the potential of getting one of those laps back the hard way. Right now, it's all Tyler Honeycutt, though, out front, clean and clear, with Travis Bieber right behind him.
Yeah, those cars made contact right here going into turn 1, both the 8 and the 11. And man, a great job by everybody right there. I thought we were about to have a big crash right in front of the field. Jacob Cochran, he is being very aggressive right here in the last couple laps with the side draft, trying to do everything he can to get that lap back the hard way. And if he does, that puts him in just such a much better position than if he were to have to rely on 2 caution flags to get back on the lead lap. What he has to hope for right now, they got Cody Riggs just up ahead, and yeah, that's going to make things a little bit more difficult because Riggs is currently on the lead lap. If they lap that number 12 car, Ellis, it's going to put 1 car 1 lap down, and Jacob Cochran would no longer be eligible for the lucky dog.
So it could go from being a really, really good opportunity to just dead in the water for the number 8. If he can't get out in front of the number 54 and catch maybe a caution break right now, as long as he's not the caution. Got really close. Casey Bristow bringing it down there close to the number 23 as well. 4 cars under a blanket right now. Cochran blinks out for just a moment. I like the strategy of Bradley Minor off in the distance a little bit, about 4 car lengths back. I think that's a safe place to be. Chris, let's give a nod to Ryan Bittler. We've talked about him a little bit. Running in 6th place, 4th car on the inside in that number 9 machine. Not a championship hopeful, but he's looking to score a win. Tonight could be his night in that number 9. Bittler started all the way back in the 16th position and has mounted that charge in this really, I think, Stage 2 was a successful stage for him. That's where we started to see that number 9 climb up through the rankings. And currently, it's a good run and a good showing for Bittler out there in 6th position right now 5th.
Yeah, I guess you could say he's got the bit in his teeth right now and has decided to get up there in the front right here. And yeah, a nice little drive up here into the top 10. And definitely showing his hand right here. When it counts, when it matters, and wouldn't be a bit surprised at all to see him up there challenging for the win in the closing stages of this thing. And hey, we're still side by side up here. Tyler Honeycutt doing everything. He's supposed to do 1 car to the inside. Brandon Bees. Yeah, he's coming to pit road.
Oh, boy, he's coming with a head of steam. He's got to be careful in that number 65 machine. Hey, speaking of looking for the win, William Ward, we see you in the chat looking for that diecast. We got you in there. Don't worry, buddy. You keep those chats coming. Let us know who you're rooting for tonight. Here, are you here to support William Ward? Let us know. Everyone else know who you think is going to win this race. We got at least 15 drivers that have a shot. Get your driver's name down there in the chat, rooting them on right now. I know Connor Lyons rooting on Evan Janick. Where's Evan Janick running, Chris? Right now, 9th position. That heart rate pretty calm. Yeah. 104, I think, is pretty calm for Janick based on what we've seen tonight and in the past. So I like where he's sitting. I think that is definitely a strategic spot he's got himself in right now, Chris. Just playing it safe maybe for the moment being.
Yeah, playing it safe, running really well right there. Another driver right there that is also kind of playing it safe back there with him is Donnie Honeycutt. Janick came into this race 2nd in points. Honeycutt came into the race 3rd in points. Just 4 points separating them. And there they are right there. I think that they're kind of, just kind of chilling back here, waiting to see maybe if something were to happen in front of them. Ooh, a little bit of stack up right there on the inside. Did happen
in front of them. Andy Berry and Ryan Bittler had a little bit of an exchange. I think those cars just got loose at the same time. At least Berry's did. And we almost had a moment, but for it seems like the 4th or 5th time we've averted catastrophe with some great driving. So we watch the number 46 of Bradley Minor point that thing down towards the bottom of the track on the back straightaway. Chris, I'm afraid Jacob Cochran isn't really getting the help he needs up on the top side. He's fallen back to the 4th car back there, and he's got his work cut out for him if he's going to get back on the lead.
Contact!
He's going to be involved in a collision with Bradley Minor, Andy Berry, one other car. That might have been Stephen Gill involved. Evan Janick's going to make it through it. If you're rooting on that number 60, he's okay, but Chris, commentators curse, might have just struck right there on lap number 85. Let's see what happened.
Yeah, it looks like the 46 car of Bradley Minor up and out of line right there in the quad oval. And we'll rewind it back right here to kind of get a look right here. I don't know if he ran up on Casey Bristow loose right there, it looks like, in turns 3 and 4, but that's kind of after the fact when this contact happens right here. Yeah, just kind of moved up a little bit right there and kind of out of the line of Bristow and Bieber up ahead and kind of slid up into, unfortunately, our championship leader right there, Jacob Cochran, and a lot of damage to that 46 car. Andy Berry took some pretty significant damage. Stephen Gill into the outside wall as well. So several drivers taking a lot of damage in this lap 85 crash.
And hey, we got a joke coming in as we watch drivers make their way down that long pit road, starting in turn number 3 and 4. Chris, who won the neck decorating contest? I know the answer to this. This is the way my brain works. I know it. I'm not going to give it away. Who won the neck decorating contest?
I can tell you who didn't win it. There's no way Ryan Newman has ever won a neck decorating contest.
Wow. Don't get us canceled here, Chris. What if Ryan Newman's watching? This could be the end of the channel. Right now, these drivers are watching for their pit crews on pit road. They're making that long way down that narrow pit road. Tyler Honeycutt's had a fast hot rod all night. And Chris, this is going to be the money stop. This will allow drivers to make it the rest of the way. Track position is going to be everything. And Connor, I knew it. I knew it was a tie. That was the punchline. Good one. That's a good dad joke right there. Thank you, sir, for bringing it every single week right now. These pit crews, Chris, they're trying to bring it. Are you nervous knowing that you don't have any more chances to come down pit road? And this is likely the last time on pit road for most of these drivers with just about 30 laps left.
Well, let's see what drivers do right here. See if we're going to have any two-tire pit stops as they exit pit road right here. And we've got some. Evan Janick, Stephen Gill. Now, Stephen Gill's got a lot of damage, so I'm curious to see how that's going to transpire. I don't think he wants to start out in front of the field with all that rear bumper missing.
I would hope. Let's speak that into the air, whether he's watching or not. Let's put that out into the ether and existence and just encourage maybe that number 5 to not play a role here in what could be a pretty significant restart. He's going to bring up that number 5 to the side of the number 8 machine, and that's Jacob Cochran, who wanted the caution, but unfortunately he was the caution. Germ, what's up, man? Hey, it says hey y'all in chat. Glad you joined us, man. Hopefully you're enjoying some of this racing. Let us know who you tuned in to root for if you just found us by chance. Either way, we're giving away that Christopher Bell diecast. Chris, did Christopher Bell win Atlanta in the Cup Series last year?
He did. And in fact, I think Christopher Bell, didn't he win like 3 races in a row at the beginning of the season after the 500 last year?
I think so. I think you're right.
Yep. So, that's a good omen tonight, though, you know, to have that diecast here as these drivers are going to take the chews down the front stretch right here. And Ella, Stephen Gill, be really curious to see how that car handles out in front of this pack with all that clean air on the nose and with that tail, you know, that tail piece missing. In real life, you know, that'd be a little bit of an advantage. But everything I've seen in these cars in the sim, it makes the car really loose whenever that tail section is missing.
I'm sweating for him right now. I'm sweating for him. Germ found us by chance, man. We're glad you found us. And, hey, thanks for subscribing as well. We do racing 3 or 4 times a week. We got some big stuff coming up, too. So glad you subscribed. Right now, Chris, it's going to be about 28 laps left in this thing. And I'm nervous for Stephen Gill, but I love where Evan Janick is right now in that 60. I think he very well might be poised to walk out of here with the championship lead tonight, pending some sort. I don't want to put the jinx on him, okay, but I think he could be headed into Phoenix as the championship favorite. But, Chris, I think we're going to be headed into Phoenix with 5 drivers who might have a chance to win, maybe 6 drivers who have a chance to win the championship based on what we've seen transpire tonight. We're going to have a little bit better idea of that once we get these 28 laps or so out of the way. And right now, that inside line, I'm saying my prayer for him right now. Lighting my Dale Earnhardt prayer candle on my desk as we get ready for the restart. Coming to lap number 89. Stephen Gill is going to be the control car. We're going to see how much control he's got in that 5. Janick's going to have to wait for him to get us back underway. We're in the restart zone. That number 5 goes. And, boy, they got it going somehow. A little bit of a slow start, but both the leaders get off the line seemingly fine. Looks like the help is on the outside right now for Evan Janick. He's got Honeycutt, Tyler Honeycutt, Ryan Bittler, and Adam Pettit all lined up. That's where the energy is. Is Travis Bieber going to take it 3 wide? Throws caution in the wind. Adam
trouble.
Cherry's the latest. Brock Whiteman and Brandon Vees are the caution on lap number 89. And, boy, it took us a minute for it to happen, but I could have called it at the restart. Something felt a little bit off, and, I'm not sure if that was the move right there.
The crash happened around the 96 of Adam Pettit. Pettit got the wall right there in turns 1 and 2. We'll go back right here to show you again if you're watching at home. But, things got really tight. They were running 3 wide. Travis Bieber, Casey Bristow trying to go up the middle right here on Stephen Gill. Gill's up the track a little bit right there, and that's just making everything really tight right there off of turn 2. Adam Pettit hits it. Brandon Vees, great run tonight. Unfortunately, he's going to take a lot of damage in this. Brock Whiteman, Jerry Salita sliding to the inside as well. Ellis, I think it would be easier at this point of this race to figure out what cars have not taken damage in the field right now.
I think we can probably count them on one hand. Right now, Evan Janick maybe taking on the least amount of damage, and he's in the lead as a result. But looking through the field, Chris, Honeycutt, are we going to see Honeycutt maybe get that win after pushing his teammate Bradley Minor to the win at a couple of weeks ago. Was that Talladega?
It was at Talladega.
Okay, I thought so. Yeah, Bradley Minor got that win. Can Honeycutt maybe get another win for that team tonight? And that would put all three cars from Honeycutt Racing into victory lane this season. Thought it'd be a successful campaign. A couple cars coming down pit road right now. Looks like it's Stephen Gill and maybe Cody Riggs back there as well, working their way down pit road. Brandon Vees, Brock Whiteman coming down as well. Adam Pettit. Just trying to get as much damage repaired on those vehicles involved in that lap number 89 collision. Jerem wondering, is this a money league? Yeah, I'm pretty sure they do charge an entry fee into this league, but it puts on some good racing and a lot of good guys in NSRLA. Putting on a great show tonight. Just 2 races remaining. Is this driver right here on TV, Chris? He's got a championship on his mind right now.
He definitely does, and got a pretty significant little development right here. I wouldn't say it's significant because they didn't go long right there under green, but several drivers coming down pit road. Top 7 drivers staying out, from Evan Janick all the way back to Bradley Minor. The 8th place car is Donnie Honeycutt, who is still on pit road receiving service. I wonder if Donnie is still getting some damage fixed. Several drivers are getting damage fixed on pit road right here. So that 22 car's been getting faster and faster this night, and he's going to need all the speed he can get in that car to try to keep up with Evan Janick. Evan is, he is in prime position right now. And this guy right here that we're looking at, significant development for him. Jacob Cochran back on the lead lap.
About that. That is a big turn of events. Folks, going to do a little word scramble. We're going to throw up a scrambled word on the TV right now. If you can get that in, hey, kudos to you. Again, all comments get you entered in to win that Christopher Bell diecast in the chat tonight. Go ahead and start that word scramble. There it is down there on the bottom. I'll give you a hit. It is relevant to what we have seen tonight here at Echo Park. You know what made tonight? I bet just calling it Echo Park Speedway is what has caused the chaos and carnage we've seen tonight, Chris.
I welcome any opportunity to blame anything on the fact that this place is now named Echo Park Speedway, so I'm all for that.
Hashtag not my Echo Park Speedway. Always Atlanta Motor Speedway.
I'm with you.
Right now, Evan Janick and Tyler Honeycutt, they don't care what we call this race, Chris, or what we call this track. They're just looking to get to his victory lane. Hey, super chat. Appreciate it, Jerm. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. We're glad you found us and glad you subscribed. We look forward to seeing you back here more often. Hey, pick your favorite driver. Who you looking for to win tonight, man? Let us know in the chat right now. I got Chris. Who you think? Who is your favorite to win this in terms of who you think's positioned best to make it happen?
I look at the clean cars up here, Evan Janick, just been riding all race, and here he is finding himself up at the front. I don't think it's hard to beat track position at this stage of the race. Tyler Honeycutt also has it with a pretty clean car as well. So, and Tyler Honeycutt, he really needs this win tonight. So, a little bit of a desperation factor maybe in that 54.
Hey, desperate times call for desperate measures, but right now, these drivers, they got a little bit of time to make it happen. We're going to see if they can make that happen right now. Evan Janick, Tyler Honeycutt, there are your control cars. Janick gets it going. Great restart here. Coming to lap number 93. Just 25 laps remaining here from Echo Park Motor Speedway in Atlanta, Georgia. Tyler Honeycutt now battle on with Travis Bieber on the inside. Now, we got some Travis Bieber fans in the chat right now. Honeycutt, Chris, he's a man on an island, but Ryan Bittler saves the day. Now there's a train going on the outside. Will the outside be the place to be? We've seen it be so fast all night long.
Yeah, it definitely has. And you got some fast cars behind him right here. Ryan Bittler, Dustin Lewis, Bradley Minor. They're all lined up right here with Tyler Honeycutt. Down on the inside, Evan Janick's got Travis Bieber and Casey Bristow close in tow. Oh, Ryan Bittler hits the wall on entry to turn 1. Another prime example of how that track narrows up, can maybe sometimes catch some drivers out.
My goodness, big moment, and I don't think we've seen the last of those. Coming to lap number 95, getting ready to see the barn burner finish that I think is being set up here. Tyler Honeycutt trying to just grind it out on the outside line there. Casey Bristow going to try to do anything but Chris. Jacob Cochran now up into 7th position. Would this be the biggest comeback you've ever seen if that 8 can find his way up to the front and get to victory lane at the end of the night?
Car looks pretty good. A lot of the damage has been repaired. He's been working on it all night, trying to improve it. 2 crashes down the front stretch, and here he is right here, finding himself around the 7th position. Donnie Honeycutt also right behind him. He has gotten that 22 car repaired as well, and he has got some speed in that Toyota as they approach right now, coming to just 22 laps to go.
As they say at the short tracks on Saturday night, the pay window has opened. Janick sees it. He's ready to cash out, but he's got about 8 or 9 more hungry drivers looking to do the same. That cadre is led by Travis Bieber, the number 23 on the inside. We've talked about that red and neon yellow Chevrolet Camaro multiple times this season. So fast, but hasn't had the luck to get that P1 finish that we know he's got in him. Could tonight be the night? Bieber started back in 6th position. He's found himself in 2nd in the hunt for the win as they make their way down the backstretch. Contact to the back of Evan Janick. Bieber cautiously lifts off the throttle.
Yeah, a little bit of an off-center bump right there off of turn 2. Got to the right rear of Evan Janick, and they're really close right here in 3 and 4. Janick's going to slide up in front of Tyler Honeycutt. Going to take that push right here. Doing everything he can, Ellis, to control both lanes.
Folks, get your beverage, get on that couch, and lock in because you are not going to want to miss this finish. Janick on the high line, taking a helping hand from the number 54. Janick side drafts the number 11. They're encouraging him to side draft in the chat. It looks like he's hearing that right now. Janick trying to get as close to that number 11 as possible to halt the progress as he's got the push on the outside. He's going to get a big shot for the back bumper. That is Evan Janick now side by side as they head down into turn number 1. Then blue number 60 climbs the banking along with a 23 on the inside. 2 by 2 by 2 for the first 4 rows.
Yeah, and you got Casey Bristow right there. Oh, contact between Bristow and Honeycutt. They keep it straight right there. Bristow is trying to stay as close as he can to the rear bumper of the 23 of Travis Bieber. Bieber loose into turn 3 right here, Ellis. I think that we're seeing all these drivers got right here at this stage of the race.
Hey, I'm curious, in the chat, fans, let us know, are we going to get another yellow before this thing's over? What do you think, Chris? We going to get another yellow?
I would be shocked if we don't get another yellow.
Cam, are you taking the over or under on 1 yellow? Hey, I like that over as well. Fans, let us know. Are you over or under 1 yellow for the rest of this race? Coming at 17 laps left here in Atlanta. They are going to go by in a heartbeat. If they run green, we're talking 30-second laps or so. So just less than 10 minutes left in this race. If we go the distance in green side by side. Chris, do you feel like any side's got an advantage right now? Because I'm not really seeing it's a rubber band. It's going back and forth.
Yeah, it definitely is. It just depends. Oh, as Casey Bristow up the hill right there, entering turn 3, that car got a little bit tight on entry right there. I think you might start seeing more of that as these cars get more and more laps on their tires, especially being tucked up as close as you are right there. But to answer your question, it seems like they're pretty even. I do feel like I just, in my gut, I think that I would want to be up high coming off turn 4, coming to the checkered flag. I think that I would want that momentum from the top lane. I do think, though, that if your car is working well on the bottom, like it seems like Travis Bieber's is, you can get through the center of the corner fairly well right there. And look at it coming to the line right here. It's a dead heat.
It is a dead heat, and the fans love what they are seeing. Talking about Rubbin is racing. They're all talking about they're loving what they're seeing right now. Germ saying if the outside line tucked their doors, they could get, oh boy, Bristow and Evan Janick. How did we not have a big one there? Chris, they're 3 wide, headed up into turn 3. Caution is out. What just happened? A little bit further back in the field, if I had to guess. Maybe we can, yeah. Brandon Dees and Brock Whiteman, it looks like, down in turn number 2. Yeah,
this was a pack that was a little bit further back trying to catch up to the to the pack up ahead. Brandon V's is going to be the car that kind of starts it. V's in the 65. I think that he got a little bit of a push down the front stretch by Adam Pettit right there. These drivers were lined up trying to catch that pack up ahead, Ellis.
And you can see it looks like V's ducked down to the inside and just maybe came back up on the track. Yeah, that's what happened. I don't know if that was any malice or just when you're down there and you're trying to get it woed up, you don't know what direction that car is going to turn. And coming almost 180 miles into that corner, 80 miles an hour into that corner, hard to get down to the speed that you need to. So that's going to put us under caution here with about, I think we're going to get a 10-lap shootout, guys. This is going to be a wild one. I think if you thought you've seen it all, I think you definitely have not at this point. I think it's going to be a good opportunity to hear from our partners for NSRLA. That is the Downtown Auto Sales Series and Diesel Laptops. Don't go anywhere, folks. We're going to be right back. If you're shopping for dependable used cars in Cumming, Georgia, start with the team you can trust, Downtown Auto Sales, right at 208 Atlanta Road. They've got something for every driver, reliable daily commuters, family SUVs, even upscale luxury options, all priced fairly and backed by a 4.6-star Google rating. The staff is friendly, process is easy, and if they don't have exactly what you're looking for, their car locator service will track it down for you. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, and Saturdays until 4. Stop by or give them a call at 470-239-8979. Downtown Auto Sales. Quality cars, zero hassle. Is downtime costing your fleet money? And check out Diesel Laptops, the industry leader in diesel diagnostics since 2014. From rugged handheld scanners to mobile apps and full repair databases, they give you the tools to read the codes, run DPF regens, and fix issues fast on your phone, tablet, or laptop. Fix more, worry less, keep trucking. Visit diesellaptops.com. You are looking live at Echo Park Speedway here from Atlanta, Georgia. It's going to be a 10-lap dash, Saturday night, short track style, except we are at one of the fastest tracks on the NASCAR circuit here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Travis Bieber is your leader, Evan Janick second. It has been a night of carnage, but drivers have survived, and right now, any car on the lead lap has a shot to win it. They take that choose rule. Bieber to the inside, Janick to the inside. Chris, does it surprise you to see Janick go low with Bieber?
No, because I you just know when you're in the driver's seat, man, you just know where your car is most comfortable. You know who you're most comfortable running with. We've seen Travis Bieber up there near the front all race long, so I think that Evan probably feels like that's his best chance. And we've talked about it. We've seen how, even both lanes are. I know I've kind of talked about wanting to be on the high lane, personally, if I was there, but, they're pretty even. Both lanes are. And, Evan probably feels like that's his best chance to move forward right there, is to start right behind Travis Bieber. Looking back at some of our other championship contenders, just behind him, Dustin Lewis, those guys are teammates, Lewis and Janick. And I can also confirm that Jacob Cochran is also in the voice chat with those guys. So I wonder if we'll see those three drivers working together here.
Oh, my goodness. I don't even want to begin to speculate as to what we're going to see. Michael Berry asking what brought out that caution to pack a little bit further back. Guy got out of shape. That guy was Brandon V's. And, just high speeds, high intensity. One thing led to another. But right now, one thing is about to lead us to the checkered flag, and that is the green flag on this restart. It's going to be 11 laps to go here from Echo Park. Travis Bieber, the control car, gets away cleanly. Tyler Honeycutt doesn't let him get too far off into the distance. He's going to bring it to the outside with a little bit of help from Casey Bristow, likely down into turn number 1. Can he get to that right rear quarter panel? It seems like he's close. Brings it down to the side of Evan Janick. Chris, side drafting. I think we're only seeing the beginning of that here in the late runs. There's the move. There's the outside run. Casey Bristow, Bradley Minor bring the energy to Tyler Honeycutt as the outside forms into turn 3.
Yeah, Casey Bristow with a big push down the backstretch. That's going to enable Tyler Honeycutt to get side by side right there with Travis Bieber. Bieber got through 3 and 4. Well, Bradley Minor into the wall in the front stretch.
Hold on to her, fellas.
That's Ryan Bittler. He's going to rejoin into turn 1, but we're still green.
Green flag still out. It's 9 laps left here in Atlanta. At least coming to 9 laps here. Tyler Honeycutt, that's the guy on the outside of the inside. That red and yellow, number 23, belongs to Travis Bieber. He's looking for his first win of the season. Evan Janick looking for his fourth win of the season. Looking to vault himself into the championship lead here, headed into Phoenix. Dustin Lewis, though, the dark horse who almost won last week in Nashville, looks to reclaim a victory here in Atlanta. He's third on the inside. Jacob Cochran also fourth on the inside. So many cars with so much damage have fought back here in the final goings of this race.
Yeah, they have all kinds of stories to watch. These drivers have persevered through the entire race, Ellis. Many of these drivers on your screen right here caught up in crashes that might have ended what we thought would have ended their nights. But here they are battling it out for the race win right here. Oh, one car sideways. Dustin Lewis is going to hold on to trouble behind him.
Bittler sideways. We're still under green flag conditions. Race director holds that flag. They're going to let him continue to race. I love that call here. Just 7.5 laps left to go. 8 cars within contention. Now it's Dustin Lewis and the number 33, Dustin Lewis and Jacob Cochran a little bit further back, but these 6 cars couldn't throw a blanket over them right now. Honeycutt, Bristow, and Honeycutt, that's your outside line. Bieber, Janick, and now Adam Pettit back into it after suffering damage earlier. He's back in the top 5. And boy, Chris, those final 2, they've got to run. They're back in it as well.
Yeah, some drivers up here, Ellis, you mentioned it before. They're trying to get their first win of the season. Tyler Honeycutt, Travis Bieber, Casey Bristow, they're trying to break into victory lane right here. Evan Janick trying to gain just a boatload of points tonight. He's going to look to the outside of Travis Bieber here down the front stretch.
Oh, Janick sees it. From Honeycutt. Gets bumped just a little bit. Janick holds on to it. So does Honeycutt. Bristow as well cautiously lifts off the throttle. That outside line continues to fight another day. 5.5 laps left to go down the backstretch. Now Janick finds himself a car length behind. Couple cars locked up behind him. That's Honeycutt and Bristow. Honeycutt once down to the inside. That outside line feels like it's lost every ounce of momentum that it has, but can they build it back?
They might be able to right here. They've got to get reorganized. 5 laps to go. It's not over with yet. We've seen how fast these lines and these runs have been able to reorganize right here. Travis Bieber has got a mirror full right here of Adam Pettit. Where did he come from, Ellis? I feel like he hasn't been anywhere in the picture right here for the race lead, and here he is with coming to 4 laps to go with a shot to win.
4 laps to go. The inside has the momentum, but suddenly Evan Janick and Casey Bristow on the outside have all the energy, and the tables have turned now as they climb the banking into turns 1 and 2. 4 laps left here from Atlanta Motor Speedway. It is going to be wild. Send your friends. Don't go anywhere, folks. This is the battle for the ages coming up. Jacob Cochran on the inside there. They're going to go by as Cochran works the apron. 7 cars with contention, with a chance to win this race. Coming to 3 to go. Chris, if you get out in front, let's say you're Travis Bieber and you're on the inside, do you start throwing blocks to the outside if you see the energy moving up there, or do you stay committed to where you've been the entire race?
Yeah, I think that it's just really hard to say right here. It's going to be difficult to try to let that driver, gather that momentum up right here. I feel like he's in a really good spot right here. He's got the push right here from behind right here with Adam Pettit. We're going to see right here, they're coming to 2 laps to go. A lot of drivers have some big decisions to make.
Will Travis Bieber make the block? He's about to have his first opportunity. We're going to see how serious he is about holding on to that lead. Sole first place position. Bieber's going to do it for now, but Janick trying to mount a charge. He's got to have Bristow give him the push, and there's the push from Bristow. Is it going to be enough to get Janick up to the front, maybe just to the right rear quarter panel to get a little bit of side draft? 1 lap to go.
Oh, no.
Flash, sim cams, white flag, waves in the air.
And that was close right there between Bristow and Janick. They kept it straight, though. Here comes Tyler Honeycutt trying to come up the outside. A 3rd lane, 3 wide contact.
Bristow. Honeycutt holds on to it. Other Honeycutt gets caught up in it. White flags waved. We're racing back to the line. Will Pettit make a move on Travis Bieber? Evan Janick, Dustin Lewis battling for the second position. That's Janick, fourth position, but right now it's all Bieber and Pettit. Bieber doing everything he can. Will Pettit make the move to the outside off of turn 4? He looks to the inside. Does he have enough at the line? It's going to be Bieber who gets the win at Atlanta.
Travis Bieber picking up his first win of the season, Ellis, in dramatic fashion, holding off the pack from behind. You know he's got to be ecstatic right here to pick up the victory of that 23 car.
Oh, absolutely. And boy, it was close right there. We're going to hear from those folks who finished in the top 3. But before we do so, we got to announce our winner of the diecast. Germ XD got in here late, but boy, you brought it in the final part of this race in the chat. You get the Christopher Bell diecast. You can email us at ssracingleagues@gmail.com. That email address is on the screen right now. We'll claim that prize and we'll send it out to you absolutely free of charge. Chris Bieber, Pettit, and look at Dustin Lewis, Chris. He is the highest playoff driver in the running order tonight, coming in 6th in points. This is going to tighten things up indeed, but right now the story is all about Travis Bieber getting that first win of the season. Man, what an exciting race.
Yeah, exciting from the drop of the green flag. We saw a lot of carnage out here on the track tonight, but these drivers, man, they just never disappoint, Ellis. They brought it from the drop of the green flag to the checkered flag, and what a dramatic finish. And it's always great to see a first-time winner on the season bring home that checkered flag.
Absolutely. Going to try to get Dustin Lewis into the booth. We're going to wait for him. Looking like he is going to be getting in. There he is. We're going to just bring him in here. Let me move him over real quick. Maybe if I can find our broadcast room. Hey, we're going to bring Dustin Lewis over. Hey, Dustin Lewis, this is Ellis, Chris, and Cam up in the Slingshot TV booth. You got a copy, buddy?
I read you loud and clear, Slingshot.
Oh, my goodness, man. We were watching that number 33 just... Man, you had the win behind your sails that whole race, but to get a third place finish based on everything that happened, the carnage and the chaos that we saw tonight, man, that has to feel good. Talk us through how crazy this race was from the cockpit of that car.
Where do I even begin, to be quite honest with you? I mean, Atlanta has always been known to produce some wild racing, even with the new reconfiguration, making it a super speedway. This was insanity. We never had a chance to breathe. We were always side by side. We just never had a chance to get single file and just kind of calm everything down. No lane was better than the other. And the only way that the whole field got neutralized was in a yellow flag condition. So, like, I finally can breathe a little bit after the checkered flag is now flown.
Man, it was awesome, and we get a chance to talk to you after. I know you had to say goodbye to a friend in the last couple of weeks. We were thinking about you, and we wish you the best. I know that's tough, but got to feel good to get that third place finish tonight. Man, what are you thinking about headed into Phoenix next week? As we don't know for sure, but we're thinking that you're going to be within striking distance, mathematically eligible for the championship. What are you going to do to prepare for that race?
A whole lot of practice. There's going to be a lot of laps run over the next coming days, just getting as dialed in as we can at Phoenix. Phoenix is not a track that I'm particularly great at. I don't know why. The older Phoenix I can click with. The newer Phoenix, where they've reconfigured it to be this, a little bit higher banking. You can drive it a little bit more aggressive. It just never has quite clicked with me. I kind of have something there with the next gen cars, but with these Xfinity cars, that's going to be this kind of unknown territory for me. So there's going to be a lot of laps log in the week, and when the standings come out, that's going to dictate further how much I'm going to push come next Thursday.
Man, we are going to be watching you out there in the desert. Before we let you go celebrate that podium finish, man, any shout outs for the folks watching at home? I know you got a fan club that tunes in every week. We're grateful for them. I know you are too.
First off, I want to thank the Lord Jesus Christ for giving me the chance to race with this league and race with these guys. I know this probably wasn't the cleanest Atlanta race ever, but for how action packed it was, you can't be more thankful than that. It was entertaining from flag to flag. The next people I got to thank is obviously my parents. They're part of the fan club that tune in every single week to watch you guys and watch me race, as well as my other family members that know I do this on the side. Thank Alex Pollock, Evan Janick, and all the other guys, my teammates, for asking me to be on their team and run under their banner. And thank Donnie for not wrecking me, because that was a pretty nasty block I did on him at the end there. So thankfully he didn't take me out right at the checkered flag. But this was a fun race, y'all, and I appreciate you guys for streaming this for us.
Yeah, man, absolutely. We look forward to it every week, and we have a blast, and we love seeing you guys out there having fun. So we'll look forward to seeing you next week in the desert, man. Get that practice in, and be ready.
Oh, I will. Trust me.
Hey, congrats on that podium. All right, Chris, you caught up with Adam Pettit, our second place finisher.
Let's bring him into the booth right here. Adam Pettit, our second place finisher. This is Chris Ellis and Cam in the Slingshot booth. You got a copy?
I got you guys.
Well, hey, man, I think I said it. I'm just going to sum it up right here with about 3 or 4 laps to go. I think I hollered over the mic right here. There's Adam Pettit. Where did he come from? It seemed like you had the strategy to kind of, take it easy, and did a lot of riding for a long time, and looked up right here in the final laps, and there you were right there battling it out for the win right there. Talk us through your night right there in that 96 car.
Yeah, I missed the driver's meeting, so I got stuck in the back for the first stage. We had that caution towards the end of stage 1, so I pitted, so that way in stage 2 I could leapfrog the field, and that worked out pretty well. And then I got some damage on the car, went to get that fixed, and kind of got stuck in the back. Got more damage on the car, and at one point I didn't have a rear bumper on the thing. Luckily, the crew got that put back on, and then just with attrition, right? Other people just kind of wrecking out, and that's what I knew it was going to take, because you couldn't really battle. This track can only be too wide with us. Here on the virtual side, we're just not quite good enough to hold it, 3 wide. So C's parted there towards the end, just the way that I needed him to, and Travis helped me a buttload in the second stage. So I was going to help him here and in the final one and give it a crack on the apron, and he got me by half a car. So I'll take a second place after all that.
Yeah, definitely a great run right here, and a great recovery for all the carnage that you had to work your way through. We heard we talked to Dustin Lewis just a second ago, and he talked about how just intense it was the entire time. How you didn't have a chance to relax if you were up in the middle of the pack. Did you find it to be just as intense from your seat?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. Once you got in the pack, and you weren't just kind of just riding around at the back of it, but yeah, when you were in the pack, yes, it was on pins and needles, just because 1 minute the front end wanted to push, then the next minute the rear end wanted to come out from underneath you, and you've got 15 other cars doing the same thing, and lines get squirrely, and once you get tucked up behind somebody, you can't see around them, and so that's why I'm sure there's a lot of times you saw me, like, why the heck is my nose way out there? It's 'cause as soon as that car in front of me, started taking the turn, it's like, oh shit, there's the turn. I gotta, do something about that. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. Typically, I think, when you guys interviewed me last week, I wasn't looking forward to this, but this tonight was a lot of fun. A lot more fun than I expected to be. I mean, obviously sitting in second place is going to help that mood, but overall, even if I wouldn't have finished here, it was a fun night.
Well, hey, man, you definitely put on a good show coming up there through the field right there in the closing stages. We're looking forward to seeing you hit the track next week at Phoenix for our final race of the season. And before we let you go celebrate the second place finish here tonight, give the floor over to you for any shout outs that you might have for the people watching at home.
Yeah, the fans, that come in and watch these, I know by watching these, there's always 20 to 30 to 40 people watching. So thanks everybody for watching us every single Thursday. You guys for doing killer broadcast. Like I said, I love going back and watching these on Fridays and Saturdays, and just whatever. And congrats to Travis on the win tonight. Andy for an amazing league that we all get to partake and have fun in. And shout out to my teammate. He didn't have the best night, but he should still have the contender points lead after this. So kudos, Cootie, for battling through adversity there.
Well, hey, man, we're going to give a shout out to you as well for a great second place finish tonight. And we're going to let you go celebrate it right now. We'll let you go. As Adam Pettit, our second place finisher. Great run, man. Congratulations.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
You too.
All right, that leaves one, and that's Travis Bieber. We caught up with him in Victory Lane. Travis Bieber, winner here at Echo Park Speedway. This is Ellis, Chris, and Cam in the Slingshot TV booth. You got a copy, brother?
Yep, I got you guys.
Oh, man, well, I feel like this has been a long time coming. I remember when we went over the starting grid, looking at you starting in the 6th position, I said this is a guy who's been so fast but has had just bad luck, and he's got the speed to get the win tonight. Could be the night, and it was the night. Let's start at the end. And I want to know, you were out front cleanly. How committed were you to the bottom? I was wondering if you were going to kind of move up to the top and try to follow the runs. Was that something you were thinking about, or was you just locked to that apron?
Well, to be honest with you, I guess on that last restart, I expected Evan and Tyler to go high. And then when Evan stayed on the bottom, I thought, I switched. I had run the top line the first 2 stages, and I just didn't love it. Went to the bottom, and I think Tyler was leading, and I was pushing him. And I thought, this seems like it's better. It just seems like it's better. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to run the bottom here. I've been out front. I'm going to run the bottom, and if I lose it on the bottom, so be it. But, it worked out, and it was able to stay ahead. Adam was really pushing me hard there at the end. I think it was Evan before that, so, I got to say thank you to those guys. I mean, I won, but you got to have help on tracks like this.
And you definitely had plenty of help tonight. Talk to us about how crazy it was out there. Up from our vantage point, it looked like it was wild. We had some of the drivers we've talked to telling us there was no letting off. It was just full out 100% almost every lap. And it looked like that from our vantage point.
Yeah, for sure. So, I think at real life Atlanta, they can run 3 wide here. I think the cars and, just the way the runs were tonight, everybody was so unstable, just made the race wild, but it was a fun one for sure.
Oh, well, it was certainly fun to watch. I'm curious about, I was one of the things I was thinking about is how much you wanted to be bumped. How comfortable was it to be bumped out there? We saw blows being exchanged, obviously in a positive way, a lot of the night. Was it uncomfortable to get those bumps?
No, I mean, I don't know that anybody behind me ever gave me one down through the dog leg. The car was really, really free through there. I think it would have got sketchy if anybody was doing it there, but once we got to the backstretch, it was basically lay those 2 bumpers together and push as hard as you could. So, it makes for it being exciting. I know I caught somebody at one point with with a bad one down the backstretch, but just trying to square those bumpers up and push as hard as you can.
Y'all did such a good job most of the evening. Headed to Phoenix next week. You're going to try to go back to back?
Yeah, I think that's the only thing to do. I think like you said, I had a few runs earlier this year at a couple different tracks that just didn't pan out, or qualified on the pole, missed the drivers meeting, and ended up in a wreck because I had to start in the back. So I think tonight was some validation for some good runs earlier in the year, and hopefully we keep it going, and then next season starts here in a couple weeks. So, this is good momentum heading into that too.
I know you picked up some fans in the chat along the way. So you got a little fan club brewing, and I'm sure we'll be cheering you on next week in Phoenix. Before we let you go celebrate that season first win, man, any shout outs for the folks watching at home?
I'll give a shout out to you guys for doing the broadcast. I love going back every week and checking it out when the race is over. I want to give a shout out to the NSRLA guys for putting the league on, and everything they do for us to get out on the track every week. So just appreciate it.
Well, man, we enjoy watching you guys. We're looking forward to that championship race next week at Phoenix. That is your winner, Travis Bieber. Congratulations, Travis. Have a good week.
Thanks, guys.
Right. What an absolutely phenomenal race. And, you know, hate to say I told you so, but we saw that coming all the way along the 117 laps tonight. That finish was no surprise for any of you who tuned in most of the evening. Sure, there's a lot of carnage, but there was some amazing racing too. Let's go ahead and talk about where those drivers finished top 20. Let's look at the rundown tonight with see where your favorite driver lined up. Obviously, we talked to the top 3. Fourth place was Donnie Honeycutt. Chris, what a hell of a night. What a hell of a comeback for the points leader, or not the points leader, but one of the top 4 in points who really, really salvaged what could have been an awful night, puts together a 4th place run by getting all that damage repaired. I think Evan Janick also deserves a lot of kudos for staying out of a lot of that trouble. He brings it home 5th. Ryan Bittler got out of shape there in the late going, but holds on to a 6th place finish. Chris, Jerry Salinas survives another one, finished his 7th. What a good run for him and Casey Bristow in that number 11, bringing it home 8th, along with Tyler Honeycutt, who had a wild night, especially later on, got caught up in that late race crash, and Jacob Cochran somehow manages a 10th place finish. But I feel like Cochran was involved in every wreck I saw, usually not of his own making.
Yeah, he was. And, he had some trouble late right there. Not really sure everything that transpired right there to drop him even further back to 10th. But depending on how all the stage points are going to work out and are calculated, I think that we could be sitting pretty close for that points lead heading into Phoenix. So it's going to be super exciting next week. Looking at the rest of the finishing order right here, Bradley Minor is going to bring it home in 11th. Andy Berry ran very well tonight, up there in the top 5 in the early stages, first half of the race. He's going to finish in 12th. Cody Riggs is going to finish in 13th. We saw him have that little trouble under caution right there in the stack up. Brandon V's another driver who had top 5 speed for a lot of this race. He's going to finish in the 14th position. In the 15th position, Brock Whiteman in the 41. We saw him also in that White Sox car have some speed as well. So I think a lot of these drivers, Ellis, they found themselves up at the front at some point in the race. Stephen Gill will bring it home in the 16th position. Roy Sprague in 17th in that number 59 car. Gino Volante on his birthday will have to settle for an 18th place finish night. Christian Barnes, this is the big one, I think, Ellis. Christian Barnes, one of those championship drivers, championship hopefuls, and, getting caught up in an early crash. Unfortunately, he's going to finish in the 19th position, and Matthew Hill will round out the field in the 20th spot.
Rough night for a lot of those drivers in the bottom 15. But a great night for your top 3, including winner Travis Bieber getting that first win of the season and doing it while he had his chance. Just 2 races left. That means we're headed into championship week, championship Thursday, 1 week from tonight at Phoenix Raceway out in the desert, Chris. We're going to have, I don't know the exact math, but I think we're going to have at least 4 drivers with a good mathematical shot at winning the championship. We'll keep folks updated on that, and it is going to be a great race at Phoenix here 1 week from tonight. But we've got other racing going on in the meantime, Chris. We got a road race going on, a charity race for St. Jude's presented by Zach B Racing and KSM Media. We got the Mazdas headed to Summit Point in what is going to be an hour-long slugfest. Great track. Love Summit Point over in the hills of, I think is it West Virginia, right on the state line there. But Chris, that's going to be fun. Looking forward to that on Saturday. Make sure you folks tune in at 8 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday night for something a little bit different than what you're used to seeing on Slingshot TV, but it's for a good cause. All the research that St. Jude's does for childhood cancer. Tune in, consider giving a little bit of money. That link is already live on our channel. So we're looking forward to that. And then we got the Slingshot Racing League Late Model Tour presented by Phillips Wraps and Graphics. That's on Monday night. Chris, where are they headed this weekend?
They are headed. They're headed to Stafford, and that series has been very exciting all season. They had a great race this past Monday. It went green flag, and if you know anything about late model stock racing on a short track, you know that is a feat. So yeah, those drivers are putting on one heck of a show. So yeah, make sure that you tune in for that here on the channel on Monday night, and then on Wednesday night, Ellis, the Slingshot Racing League Grand National Series is headed to Rockingham. which also puts on a great show. So that series has been great, and Sal and Sean and Kobe have been doing a great job bringing the action to everybody every single Wednesday night. So if you haven't tuned into that, highly encourage you to check out the action from Rockingham this Wednesday night.
And we also got some other things in the works, some big things happening in early March. We're going to share with you folks in the coming days, but look out for what's going to be a pretty cool thing we've got going on in the channel in just a few weeks. Definitely not going to want to miss that. Folks, it has been an amazing night here from Atlanta at the Echo Park Speedway, and the next to last race for the NSRLA Downtown Auto Sales Series. We are eternally grateful that you chose to join us tonight. And one last reminder, if you watch these races and for some strange reason you haven't hit that subscribe button or the like button, go ahead and do that now. Whether you're watching live or you're watching the replay later on, that's right, I'm talking to you from the past, talking to future you. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and we are going to look forward to the future just 1 week from tonight. We will catch you in the desert from Phoenix Raceway for the championship. Folks, so long. We're headed west. We'll see you there next week. Have a great weekend. Bye for now.